We have some minutes to see what's going on. We got about 3 minutes or so, and we are officially live. Well, it's not actually officially live right now, but we're working on it. Let's see what we got. Let's go with this some sort of a setup, some sort of a system format or whatever they want to call it. I know, some people they throw on their lives and they have a timer, but they actually don't say anything. So I'm trying to do things a little different. Every once in a blue, clear my throat a little bit, try to like get myself warmed up before I jump in and splash face first, so to speak. What are we tuning into? What we're doing today? I'm your host, Mike Pugh, by the way, of the Virtual Intel channel, and I'm just so happy to be here. And I appreciate y'all folks, whoever chooses to show up to this live stream session and future sessions. So the topic at hand is Blender Human Generator add-on. But what about the add-on? Well, basically, the add-on been around for, I believe, close to a year. But don't quote me on it because I just recently got the add-on and I've been manipulating and playing around with it and trying to see what I could do. And yesterday was a very successful live stream, but at the tail end, I tried to pull off something that I was doing, how would you say, about a week or so ago, and it failed in an epic way. So it was an epic fail. So what was I attempting to do? I was attempting to apply an animation to a facial, how would you say, face rig. So I was trying to apply to a face rig, which I wasn't supposed to be doing, on the human generator character that I created. Instead, I'll show y'all folks in this live session why I failed and what I was supposed to actually do to get it working right and get it working correctly. So we're gonna tune in about 40 seconds or so, close to 40 seconds, little upper mid lower 40 seconds at this moment, and then we should be able to splash right in and get started. So I might just bring y'all folks directly to Blender to start off exactly where I was at, just to give you a brief overview and review of what my issue was and things like that. So if you want to tune in, like I was saying, go for it. This live session for some reason is having issues with my resolution size. I don't know what that means. Whatever. I had that issue yesterday, but maybe I'll figure it out on a non-live streaming day. So here we go. We're going to transition 3, 2, 1 contact type of thing. Let's jump in. Here we go. Transition now. All right. So hold on. Let's minimize a lot of that stuff and jump straight in. So here we go. We're on Blender. And this is the character generator, or the character that I created from the character generator add-on on Blender. Here goes the face rig. And what I was trying to do, I got an animation that I made from the Facecap app, which is pretty much what you got to use. You create an animation on the Facecap app that turns pretty much into a FBX file that's exported as an ASCII coded FBX file, and you have to go in and get a converter. So you got to get the what do they call it? Let's see, FBX converter. You can go on Google and get this FBX converter for 2013.3 or whatever version, and once you get this, you can transfer the file into it and then convert the file into a binary format of an FBX file, because FBX files have different formats pretty much. So Blender doesn't accept the ASCII format, it only accepts binary, so you most definitely will need this FBX converter. Okay, so that was successful. Everything else I did was successful except for the fact that I was doing it wrong in terms of once you import that converted file and it turns into a little head shows up on the base of your character. If you hit the play, you'll see that it's moving the way it's supposed to move. The Facecap app is really amazing, where it captures all of your facial motions that it possibly can, translate into this 3D model, this little 3D model head, and even your eye blinks, things like that, and it will transfer it really accurately. And then what you would have to do, once you get it on there on Blender, you just select the head, or the head would be selected automatically. Either way, if you chose to select off of it, then you would have to select it if you wanted to get the keyframes. So the keyframes is really important to grab. Make sure they're all highlighted. And if you don't grab them, what you're going to see here that I'm about to do won't work. So I'm going to hit the right click mouse button and go to copy. And then I'll go to, now this won't necessarily show you any proofing because it's already built into the face. So as you can see, the head got motion, the face got motion. I even put eye blinks in it. So a lot of that stuff I had to manually do it. It doesn't automatically do it based on the shape keys themselves. So basically all I had to do, which when it wasn't on the face and when it wasn't moving, all I had to do is select the face, not the face rig itself. You can actually hide the rig if you want. The rig has nothing to do with the translation of the shape keys. You have to select the mesh itself. So the whole entire upper portion of the head's mesh and the hands highlight like in orange, like you see here. Once it does that, there's not going to be any shape keys down here as you see. So let me just delete it and show you how it looks like when I didn't apply it. So basically no shape keys are shown. So what I would have to do is make sure that this is all the way at the 0 mark. And then right click and paste. And that's it. Right click and paste will allow me to paste it in, but I'm not going to paste it right now. I'm just showing you what I did. So now it's basically all the shape keys will show up. And if you performed everything properly based on all the steps and procedures that I'm about to show y'all folks for the full how would you say, step-by-step approach to applying it all, I'll basically be showing y'all folks in this live stream how to do everything from scratch, even from the point of originating the character, getting the character customized, and then getting the character form fitted and set up for the ARKit transfer and the face rig application, and then getting all the files to convert from ASCII to FBX, and then applying the shape keys after you copy, etc. But I'm going to show y'all folks even more. So I'm going to go in a little bit deeper and show you how I got the eye blinks working by applying shape key, how would you say, not animations, but keyframe updates to some of the shape key areas. And there was just different things that I was playing around with. I also did a follow constraint type of a thing where I got the head bone to follow the movement of the head of the character model here. Not character model, but the FBX head that came off of Facecap, off the Facecap app. So I got that working. That's why the head is actually moving. When I first tried it, I actually made the head move on my own in a simulation, but that was really not the best simulation. To simulate head motion that's not really head motion doesn't do the job the same. It's not the most accurate job. So what I'm talking about is, hold on one second, I'll show y'all folks really quick. Sorry about the thumbnail. I was just trying to throw something up there real fast. This guy right here, in one of my videos, I got the head moving. As you can see, the head is moving kind of fast and in all different angles and positions. That was my hand motion playing around with the mouse when I was on Blender. So basically I was on Blender. Let me throw back the bones. So we're going to do alternate H. We're going to select the face rig. Now, when you want to move the head manually, that's when you want to go for the face rig. Excuse me, or copying constraints and things like that. So I'm going to select the head bone, and I'm just going to hit the R key on the keyboard and just start rotating. Now it's not moving, and I'm not too sure why, but we'll see. Rotate in the Z. Nope, it's not moving. Sorry about that. I still got a little cold, little chest cold. So I'm most definitely going to have to drink a lot of water. And I'm going to have to edit this video like I did the previous session. But it's all good. Hopefully I'll still be able to show folks everything that I can do. But for some reason the head bone is not moving. And maybe because I have the follow constraint set up. I don't know. Let's see. What else is not moving? Okay, everything else is moving. Let me just get the neck. Okay, so the neck. Now, the reason why the head bone is not moving because it's locked in a position based on the constraints, I think, that I applied to it. And I'll show y'all folks that part of what I did. But as you can see, you know, the head could move from side to side in different angles and things like that. Whatever the case may be. I'm just moving the neck bone. But that's basically how I did the first character simulation that I was playing around with. Now, I am going to show y'all folks something else in terms of the process of everything that I was talking about. So you don't have to memorize anything that I was talking about and expressing. So let me get to the staging process over here. Hold on one second. Let's see. Boom. So we'll transition this in. So what I was trying to show folks yesterday was this here. This is the Facecap app, and it's showing my steps and procedures. And as you can see, that's me right there smiling. I'm blinking my eyes. Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I don't know if you can see my mouth moving. So the Facecap app really is amazing. It takes note of all of your facial motions, and it will try to translate that into an FBX head like you just saw. And when you export, so you hit this button, the export button, it's right down here. So when you hit the export button, this is on the iPhone X, by the way, folks. So it has to be an iPhone. Right now I can't export because I don't have a file to export. I have to record. So let's try to record something real quick and then transfer it and see what it does. Hey, what's up, folks? I'm just testing around on this iPhone X, and I am playing around with Facecap, an amazing app, and it's really dope. It is showing me that I can actually pull off some amazing stuff with my characters. And so I'm going to be showing y'all folks how to do that in this live stream today. And there you go. Just a test, playing around, and let's see if this thing exports. So I stopped the record, and then I hit export. There we go. So once you do that, you want to name what you want it to be named. That's just the default. So we're going to call this test 3. Oops, I was typing on the keyboard. What am I doing? I have to type over here on the smartphone. So hold on, test 3. Okay, so now it says it's complete, it's ready for use. So once you export that, that goes to some files on your phone. So we're gonna go and swipe up, look for the files, and one is gonna be an audio file, the other one is gonna be an FBX file. So the one that has the little sound envelope inside of it, that's a WAV file format. So it's a audio WAV file. So if I select it and hit the play button, you'll hear it. Actually, it's probably going through the computer. See if I could select the desktop audio. Not sure why it's not sounding off. Audio up. The audio is up loud. Yeah, it must be going through the computer. Let's see. I have no idea why it's not sounding off, but that's the audio file right there. Let's see if another one will work. I hear it, but for some reason I think it's on the computer. It's not on the phone itself because I have this connected to my X Mirage. It's more like a mirroring tool. All right, so whatever the case is, we'll get that FBX file transferred. That's what we should do. So what we're gonna do is go to the FBX file. So you go to your FBX file and you tap it. So that's this one right here. So we're gonna tap it, and then we're gonna hit this little icon at the bottom left corner to share it, and then we're gonna swipe over to my my Google Drive. Select Google Drive, and then send it to a folder on my Google Drive. So I go down here where it says Drive, my Drive. I tap it, and then I'm gonna send it to my animation folder, or it could go to 3D model FBX, but it doesn't matter. And then we're gonna select save here. These are folders that I put on my Google Drive. So then you gotta click upload. This little upload option button thingy. Once you do that, now it's on the cloud, so it's on the computer as well. I mean, I don't have a Google Drive synchronization on my computer, but I have Google Drive on either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox through, let's see, through Google Drive. So I can just type in Google Drive. Let's go the other way faster. So my Google Drive is already here on my Google Chrome web browser, and here is the file. It automatically is up there. So let me reload the page. Let's see, double click it, and then I can download it. So once I do all that, I send it to whatever file that I've been using to play around with my FBX stuff. I'll save it. Once you're done with this and you save it, then you have to go to that FBX converter. So I don't know why it's taking so long, but it should go through. There we go. So now it's saved. You can tell by the lower portion of the browser. All right. So that phase you have to do separately from what's being done on Blender. So that's something that you have to do with the Facecap app itself. So that's why I wrote here, get Facecap app. Then I put get FBX converter. I'm pretty sure y'all folks are seeing all this on the screen. And then I put export and convert. So actually, y'all didn't get to see everything that I was showcasing. Hold on, I forgot to transition. So let me go back and show y'all folks that. Sorry about that. Y'all probably was just seeing this screen here. I totally forgot to transition that in. Since I'm doing this live, you didn't get to see everything that I was doing. So here's the hold on one second. Google Drive. I'll double click on the test3 file, and then there goes the download option that comes up. Select download, and then you select where you want to download it to. Boom. So mine's already pre-designated and set up already because I've done it multiple times. Click save, and then it goes to that particular file folder on your computer through Google Drive. Once you're done that, now everything that you need to do will be on Blender. So let's forget that we don't have all of this set up. Let's just start a brand new character build so you can see how to do it from scratch. But keep in mind, you have to do that Facecap steps. Those procedures you have to do first before you get anything going on. Because if you don't have that head, that 3D head, and you don't have it converted and ready, you won't be able to pull off any of the face rigging / face mocap setup for the human generator add-on. So let's go. We're gonna throw in another Blender instance just to show y'all folks how to do it from scratch. So now we actually are rewinding all the way back to the start. So that was also for people who already know how to do this stuff, because sometimes they might not want to watch the full live stream and go through every single step and procedure because they already know how to do it. So I wanted that to be a setup for those people who already know how to do it, and they can get through that pretty easy. And at this point, they could just go into their tool and then start it up and get it done on their own. So yeah, by the way, we're using Blender 3.1.0 alpha. And so in order to pull all this stuff off, this is the version that I'm using. You can use older versions and it should work fine from Blender 2.9, I believe, and up. Everything should work fine with this app for the human generator. But like I said, don't quote me on that as well. I'm not sure if it's limited to a certain version. So mainly because I'm brand new to it, but here goes the human generator add-on. If y'all folks don't know how to get an add-on, I would highly recommend for y'all folks to look up a video on how to get a Blender add-on working, how to activate it basically. So you go to Edit, Preferences, you look for add-on, the add-on options, and then you go to Install. Then you'll either find the folder, the zip folder that you put on your computer for that add-on. You have to actually fetch a lot of add-ons that are not part of Blender, that don't come with Blender. You would have to find it first and then put it on a zip, put the zip folder on some sort of a part of your computer. I don't know what portion of your computer you want to put it on, but you got to put it somewhere in one of your file folders, and then you install it, you go and search and find it. You select the zip folder, say this was a zip folder, I don't know. So you select it and then click install. So that's basically it. And then you check one of these check boxes. This is the one that we're using, Human Generator 3D. You check the check box and it activates that add-on, puts it in action on the far right of the screen near the tools menus and different things for your assets. And other than that, basically you can go in and manipulate. Now some add-ons are different. Some may pertain to only doing specific things. Like if I go to add, at the bottom it has Mr. Mannequin's templates. That's a different add-on. So some add-ons will possibly not show up over here on the right of the screen. And that's that. I just wanted y'all folks who may be brand new to this stuff, who don't know anything about it on Blender, keep in mind that everything's not exact. So just to speed past a lot of different things, this is just your Blender viewport. It's pretty simple. You can rotate, you can navigate it, you can play around, manipulate it, you can place things wherever you want in what is known as your scene. So this is like your pretty much your project, your scene project, and you can play around and add stuff, delete stuff, change the configurations of things, the dimensionality of things. It starts out with a default cube generally. From the Blender developers, they put a default cube. You can delete that. Most people delete it. And you got a light and a camera. Digital. Everything's digital, obviously, because none of this stuff is real. But it's all simulating something real. So you can use it to simulate realistic stuff. So that's what's powerful about Blender. You can also reposition stuff and then set up a startup file. You can go to File and you go to Default and then Save Startup File. And every time you start Blender or that version of Blender, it will start up with the same exact setup. That's why mine started the way it looks. So everybody's gonna have a different setup in that case, in that scenario. And then a lot of people will have the same thing with the default cube if they don't know how to change it, or they're not interchanging it. So what we're gonna do here with this human generator add-on, we basically gonna start up from scratch. We got male, female, we got 2 different options. There is no animals in this thing. This is all about human generation, and there's no robots, which would be interesting if they had robots, but or robot skin. That'd be pretty cool. But most of this stuff is detailed to work with only human skin, simulations, and so on and so forth. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna work with a male today. I did females a bunch already. So let's go. We're gonna click here where it says click here, this box. And you can resize if you want, how big you want it or how small you want it. So we'll keep it in a mid-range size. Excuse me. Grab a little bit more water. All right, so we'll go click here, and then from that point you just choose what type of skin that you want: Asian, black, or Caucasian. So that's pretty much up to you, whatever stylized character you want to create. Let's see, we'll go with this guy, and then generate new human. We'll try that. All right. So for the most part, it starts out bare boned. It doesn't have much on it. The character is nude, or not really nude, but it looks nude. The character actually has underwear starting out, and you can remove that stuff, but I don't recommend it if you're doing YouTube videos. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, that's that nasty cold that I got. But I'm gonna get rid of all of these issues with the video having the screeching voice and all of that sickness stuff. I'm gonna get rid of that in my editing phase of the video, of the live stream. So I do apologize, like I said, but can't do nothing about the fact that I got a cold, and I just want to keep making videos. So we got the body here. You can select it. It will fade away. So whatever you want to go into the back, you have to double click it. So you click it once, click it twice, it goes back. Click it once, click it twice, it goes back. So all of the listings of what you can add will go away basically. So we'll go to body. Let's go with random, but you can add muscles, you can add weight, you can make it skinny. That looks really crazy. No. That looks okay. So we'll go with that. It doesn't really matter how he looks, to tell you the truth, because this is just showing y'all folks how to apply the face rig. So I'm not going to get too crazy with it. I'll just keep doing randomize until I get like a character's face that I like, per se. something that I think looks stylish or cool looking. Whatever, don't matter. All right, that's okay. We'll go with that. And then what else do we want? Let's send this in the back. Let's look and see what the character looks like. There we go. The eyes, we'll try to make it more hazel looking. I don't know if, let's see if I can get like a light brown. Brown is kind of hard to create, especially a light brown, because the color contrast is not really there. I guess I'll go with that. That's not bad. All right. And we will leave out hair. We're not going to worry about the hair. We just want to get the face moving. That's all we care about right now. So we're going to go with the finished creation phase. That's really important. You have to do that. You select it, and then you go and click to confirm this gray area. I just generally double click it, and it should go in and calculate. And how you can tell it's working, you can't select anything else. It won't work until it's finished. It says not responding as well. And then eventually it goes through. So then you'll see, when it's completed, you'll see clothing, footwear, pose, and expression. So what we're going to do is go through clothing, add some clothes. I want them to have some sporty stuff, but I don't see too much stuff here that would fall in that range. I guess maybe the beach stuff. Excuse me. Let's try to change the clothes a little bit. Maybe give them some orange shorts. And I guess that looks cool. Add pattern. We can add a pattern to it. I didn't even notice this part. You have to select the actual clothes itself in order to do that. Pretty cool. I didn't know that I could do that. I thought I couldn't do that. I had no idea. Okay. So let's see that. No, that doesn't look good. Click and select here. Go to all categories. Let's go to abstract. Oh, that's abstract. Interesting. How about randomize? Randomize doesn't do anything for some reason. Geometric. Oh, okay. Well, I'll leave it like that. I think that's okay. That's not bad. How about the shirt? Let's try to change the color of the shirt. Make it like white top. Add pattern. That's nasty. Lines. Just go with some lines. No, the lines look terrible. That looks really terrible. Ugh. Yeah, it's probably better to have just a blank white shirt. He looks funny. Let's see, abstract. How about the abstract? Yeah, the abstract is alright, but let's see, plaid. No, let's go to all categories. Maybe the camouflage. I'll go with the camouflage. Camouflage is not bad. It looks okay. All right, other than that, I'm done. So how do we go back? Go back to human. Okay, there we go. Let's get some footwear. It doesn't have many foot gear, but I'll just put the colorful sneakers. How about if I select it, if I could add a pattern? Let's see that. Ah, that's dope. And red, let's see, orange. The sole is white. And let's try to make that black. Accent is black. Yeah, I think that's cool. I don't know about the front of it. The front looks kind of odd. Whatever. I'm not worried about it. All right, so we're done with that. Go back. And then the key to this part here with the face rig, you have to apply the face rig. I don't know why, but applying the face rig basically will set it up for the ARKit. And the ARKit has an option in the advanced tools for developers. So this right here is not considered to be a face rig. This is more just the eye bones. You see these three kind of like bars that are right in front of the eyes. That's not the face rig. So the way you get the face rig, you go to pose, and then from pose you have to go down to the bottom. I believe you select expression. Once you select expression, actually it's not even pose, sorry about that. In the pose, that's where you're going to get the advanced rigify rig if you wanted that. So you go to expression, then you go to face rig, and then add facial rig. You must do this, like I said, in order for you to be able to apply the ARKit content. So the ARKit is basically 52 ARKit blend shapes. So they have blend shapes for the face, and they are pretty much shape keys that will allow you to adjust the shape and contours of the face. So what it does when you adapt your model for that after applying the face rig, what it's going to do is remove tons of drivers off of the pre-configured model, because the model basically comes with drivers applied to it already, and it's compatible. It's automatically set up to be compatible with the 52 blend shapes of the ARKit. So once you do that, you don't have to select the bones or anything. You just go to the upper portion here where you have these gear icons, and then select developer tools. After that, you hit prepare for ARKit. So this is the most important part. Besides getting all that data that I was talking about from the Facecap app, and getting that 3D head from the Facecap app, and then converting the FBX. In order to get that 3D head, you have to convert the FBX file that you got from Facecap. Well, this is important. So I believe if you go down, you select Facecap, or Face app I should say, and it has left to right Face app for the suffix. I don't know if this is really key or important in any way, but we'll try it this way. And click OK, and then it says successfully remove drivers and added keyframes. So that's what it basically does. It takes all the drivers away and adds keyframes. So remember when I first started the live stream and I was talking about the issues that I did in the epic fail? Well, when I first was trying to get it done, I selected the bones. You don't want to select the bones. What you want to do is select the mesh. So immediately after you do that prep for ARKit and the option, that you choose whichever one, and you follow through and select, once it's done and initiated and it removes all of those drivers, you're going to select the mesh, not the face rig. And after that, you'll have to get that FBX file. So we're going to go try to get the FBX file and try to find where I sent it to. I believe I sent it here. Actually, I did not send it. So this is the step for the converter. So If you never got the converter, let's type into Google FBX converter. So it's an Autodesk FBX converter. Then you're going to go here in the first search term that comes up, FBX converter archives Autodesk. And what you want to get is for whatever type of computer you have, a Mac computer or a Windows computer. If you have a 32-bit operating system, you want to go for these here where it says converter for Windows 2013.3 or 2. But I think you should go for the latest version. Or if you have a 64-bit operating system, you're going to go for FBX 2013.3 converter. Once you select it and you download it, it's going to come through your browser. Once you run it, it will look like so, like this. Once you get this, all you got to do is drag and drop the file that you exported through your, say it was Google Drive or whatever. I don't know which way that you exported it, but I went through Google Drive, which I showed that in the beginning, the process in the beginning of the live stream. So you're going to go add, and I'm going to go to that actual file, which is this one, FC_test3. That's the one that I created when I first showed folks how to do the Facecap app. Just basically doing the sample that I did for the 3D head. So I select it, and once I convert it, it's going to turn into a folder that says FBX 2013, like this. So it should send it to this folder. But you designate it also, so you get to designate where you want to send it to. So don't worry too much about this part here. So we're going to hit open. And it's going to bring it in. And then what we're going to do is convert. So we're going to go to convert. So we don't want this one. We want to select that one. So you can select whichever one you want. This is the one that I had the other day. What is it? Test 2. So this particular one is test 3. I want test 3, and then I want to convert that. And it's going to convert it to a binary. Is destination file already exists overwrite? Yeah, but I don't want test 2. How do I get rid of the test 2? That's the question. You know what? I'm going to try to X this out and start a new one. If I hit the X, what does that do? Edit preset. How do I get, oh, let's do remove selected. There we go. All right, so now we're going to do that. So you have to go over here where it says remove selected and get rid of the previous one if you still have any more up there. Then we're going to go to convert. And now it's going to say it's going to overwrite. I'm not really worried about overwriting, but before we do that, I want to show the folder that I want to go to. So change destination folder. So we're going to go in through this folder, ARKit tests, FBX 2013. That's what we'll do. Select that folder. And then convert. I don't know why it says the destination file already exists overwrite. Let's just go yes. I'm not worried about it. As long as I get the one that I played around with. Alright, so we'll minimize and we'll go and see if it's in there. Here it is. FC_test3. So we're going to click import. And there goes the head right there. So now the head popped up. So basically, once you create it, you convert it to ASCII, you'll get the 3D head. So let's hit the play and see what it shows. All right, cool. So it's working, which is what it's supposed to do. And now what we want to do is copy all the keyframes from start to finish. So right click, make sure it's highlighted, and copy. Right click, copy, but down in the timeline. And from that point forward, you want to select the mesh again, and then go back to zero, to the 0 frame. Then right click and paste. And that should be it. Excuse me. Now it's applied. So we hit the play button, and you'll see that his face is going to be moving. There we go. So at this point, you're probably wondering, how the hell did he get his head moving? How did he get the other character's head moving? Well, that just took some time for me to think about it. And I was saying to myself, well, if this procedure is all that it could do, it's going to limit me to what I can get my character to have. And actually, look at this. The eyes blinked. So that's dope. The eye blinks actually work. In my previous sessions that I've done in the past, I didn't have the eye blinking for my character. So let's go to wireframe so you can see it in more real time, because wireframe shows the real time motion because it's not too much 3D mesh material data blocking it and making it move slow. So let me hit the N key on the keyboard to make that go away, and just bring it down a little bit so you can see to some degree how it's moving. So this is the power of the 52 blend shapes. So it's going in and is moving pretty much everything that the 3D head has motion of. All of my differing facial features are being transferred to the character's head. So in order to move the head bone itself, I have to select the head or select the rig. Then from there, I have to change it to pose mode and then select the head bone itself. So just this upper bone, nothing else. Now I'm going to have to copy differing things. So what I found is that if you go to, let's see, scroll it out a little bit so you can see. You go down here where it says, let's hover over this. What is this one called? Hold on 1 second. These usually have names for them, and I don't know why the name's not coming out. I guess because I'm on play. Let's see. Yeah. So when you're playing the animation, you won't get to see what's showing here. But now we're gonna hover over it, and it says bone constraint properties. So this is pretty much the option that you want to go to on the far right of the screen, and then add a bone constraint. So all we want to do is copy the rotation. We don't want to copy the location, because if you copy location, it's going to actually move the head's bone all the way down to the positional orientation, and every single orientation that the 3D head is moving around on the base of the character. So that's going to really offset your model. It's not going to look right. So that's why I chose to copy rotation. So create a copy rotation constraint. Now you just have to figure out what is your target. So the target, when you go all the way down to the character, is the head itself. How I figured that part out is because the head sways back and forth, moves around and rotates, things like that. So I really didn't apply too many head rotations to this head, so it's not going to move that much, but it's going to move enough for the head to look like it's actually moving. So you're going to get out of pose mode first, go to object mode, select the head, and it highlights like this in when you're in wireframe mode. And you're just gonna scroll down, select the bone again, and then actually you don't have to do that, my fault. Go back to object mode, select the head, forgot exactly how you do this. Oh, okay, so you have the head selected, use the shift key on the keyboard and select the rig. That's how you do it. And from that point, you can now go to this eyedropper tool over in the right where it says copy rotation, and then select the head. See, it says object head. When you do that, it basically turns the target into the head. So now you scroll down. It's a very simple process, and just hit the play button. And now it's basically copying the rotation of the head. Pretty cool, right? So that's something that I learned a while back on Blender. I would say about 2 or 3 years ago, but I didn't really need it for much because I couldn't apply it to any face rig that was workable because I didn't have a tool that made the face move good. But now that I have an iPhone X, it's amazing what you can do with all of these different apps and app-enabled software. And since it has a 3D depth camera, it applies to this Facecap app really well, and it pulls off some amazing stuff. So now all I got to do is change the start and the finish time of my actual animation. So the end time is around, let's see, 723 frames. So I just got to put like 725 or something like that. And say I wanted to render all this and make it look really, really good. All that takes is just a little bit of time of phasing in different things of what I want it to look like. So I can go over to the different shading options on Blender and just manipulate that. I can play around with the background. I could change the scene setup, choose what do they call it? HDMI background, things like that. This one's not good, but let's try. Hold on 1 second. I don't know what happened with this HDR, what they call it? HDMI background. I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, right here where it says world capacity or opacity, you're just going to scroll it over to the right to some degree, and then you can see the background of the HDMI. See, so that's that part. I forgot about that. And then other than that, let's send the face rig to the back, which I didn't even have to use it for much. And there you go. So say I wanted to render this as it is. I'm not going to play too much with the textures because this is not a video about the textures per se. It's a video about how to set up your face rig and get it working through the ARKit. So that's basically what I showed, the beginning process all the way to this point. So it's not a lot, but it's not a little as well. It definitely takes a little work, but as you can see, all of this stuff is not too hard for the average person to understand and not too hard to apply. It's very, very user-friendly, very simple steps and procedures. So after that, we can go to render, but I don't want to render it directly through the render option up here. I want to go through the viewport. So let me just hide the rest of the stuff on the screen that I don't want to showcase in my render. And I found out a fast way to get rid of all the rest of the stuff. You do control, is it spacebar? or Control Alternate Spacebar. And then it sends everything to the back. And boom. So now I want to say I wanted to render this. I can just press a key for rendering or whatever the case may be. But let's bring, excuse me, let's bring back everything. We're going to go through the viewport itself. So we're going to do viewport render animation. And then I want to check and make sure that I'm sending my animation to the right folder on my computer. And also check my render settings. So for viewport render settings, I'm using Eevee, by the way, the Eevee render engine. That's why it basically doesn't take much time for it to show what it is. Also, I'm not in the rendered option, but when you're in the rendered option, you're not going to see like this background with the more like a blurred background and stuff like that. It's not going to show all that for the HDMI. So that's why I left it this way. So in the viewport, I have it at 16 in terms of the sample rate. So if you know anything about rendering, which I talked about in my previous session and many sessions, I love talking about rendering because this is like the most important thing when it comes to what you're going to create on Blender. Without rendering, your content on Blender is not going to look like anything. It's going to look pretty dull. So that's why I over focus on rendering, and I try to kill it like to death. I try to beat the topic up, but it's really important to know how to use it, the rendering engine. Let me go down to the next part where it has format and output, and I'm going to output it to a specific folder on my computer that I will designate where to go. So I click this little folder here. Hold on one second, let me move it to the right so you can see a little better. And we're going to send it to this ARKit folder. Actually, to this folder here, this Blender folder. I'm going to add another anim folder. And for some reason, I've been having issues with doing things inside Blender. I don't know why, but it's been not responding. I guess that's because this is a test version. This is an alpha version of Blender version 3.1. So just waiting right now for it to unfreeze itself. We're going to type anim 5. Doesn't matter what you call it. That's just a folder name. So I could track it on my computer. And then, by the way, this is going to an expansion drive, which is a terabyte of space that I have on my computer. I added a terabyte of space because most of my space on my original drive, which is a terabyte huge, is eaten up by tons of video files and animation files and stuff. So I needed more space basically. So what we're gonna do here is just hit accept. Doesn't matter the name. You don't have to name it anything after that. And it's gonna designate to send whatever type of files that you're trying to render to this folder. So in my expansion drive, D drive, Blender folder underscore anim5. And then from there, I'm gonna leave it at overwrite because I'm only gonna do it one time. And then I'm not going to change anything else here besides the file format. I may choose to change it every now and then, but for now I'm going to leave it at PNG because I like that file format. It's just going to create image clips. So every keyframe is an image clip, is a PNG image from the 0 all the way out to 723. So actually it starts at 1 because that's my start frame, even though the animation begins at 0. So the 0 frame will be ignored and it will basically start to render out in snapshots each individual frame as a clip, a freezed frame clip that creates an animation over time. All right, so once you've done that, this is set up, everything's good. Now we can go to view and viewport render animation. But if you want the animation to go very fast, let's say you're in cycles, you're in the cycles render engine, you want to check through all of the render options that you have and limit the time. There's a time limit option, so you limit the time to a very low number, which I showed that in my previous live session. You probably could find it somewhere in that session, but I think I wasn't successful at showcasing that part because the render engine freezes up when I go over to through my live stream. It causes like a lot of audio glitches if I try to render live of cycles. As soon as cycle starts to try to render, it freezes this. It starts to create a lot of distortion and noise. So I might not show y'all folks that here. Maybe I'll do it on a pre-recorded video, which will work much better, obviously, because it's not competing for CPU usage or GPU usage. So yeah, we're gonna do it. I think it's gonna go fast because we're rendering through Eevee and we're not even in the rendered screen view, so it's just gonna do a viewport render for animation. So you'll see each individual clip, it will render it. It'll take some time to start up and then it'll start moving. So each time you see it move, it's taking snapshots. So that's pretty interesting. It looks kind of realistic, and hopefully this thing works out pretty good. You'll get to watch the whole render. I'm not gonna minimize it. I'll just talk through this part because I think rendering is very, very beautiful. It's an amazing process of, how would you say, it's actually like an art form. I think some people are really good at rendering, and it'll make or break your 3D project, I believe. If you don't render great, your end product is not going to look great. If you don't understand all the differing elements to rendering that you have at your fingertips and at your mouse clicks, then you're not going to be able to get the best 3D output as a product or byproduct. So that's something that I believe firmly, I believe wholeheartedly and deeply, because of all the years I've been doing it. It's been about almost 4 years since I've been rendering with different render engines, but mostly with Blender. And getting to see the end results, you get to see every single time something maybe is off or something looks a lot better, depending on what you do with it. So just like anything else, the more experience you have with it, eventually it gets better and better and better. Just like playing around with the material elements of a 3D asset or whatever the case may be. Excuse me. Like, some people are really good at that kind of stuff, like trying to set up certain configurations in the shader editor with all the different node connections and things like that. Some people are really great at that. Some people are really great at the rigging process. I'm not great at anything. I just like to do random stuff overall, but I enjoy rendering because I'm learning a lot. I'm telling you, I'm learning a good amount about animation and how to pull off tricks. Like what you're seeing here, I can do things with the render engine that most people don't realize you can do. Like, I can change a lot of the differing details on it on the fly. Like, if I see there's a little error somewhere with his eyes or his nose or certain elements of whatever keyframes that are showing up on the screen, I'll go in and I'll eventually pull it out, and I can create transitions wherever I want to create the transitions at. Just because I now I understand what's going on the screen. Like, when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was clearly lost trying to figure out and puzzle things together. But now I really understand, like, how the magic is done behind the screen. It's pretty amazing. It's just like going back all the way to the beginning of animation, when animation first began, when they first created motion picture. It's all like flipbook type of stuff. So you have to understand how the flipbooks work, the old school animations, how basically clip by clip, frame by frame, everything comes into effect to create the full-fledged animation. So we're seeing like slow motion of the frames moving, even though it's actually moving kind of fast compared to other render engines like Cycles. This you wouldn't see like this. Cycles would be a whole lot of speckles on the screen and a lot of pixels going crazy all over the place. But with this particular render viewport view, you seeing pretty much everything. Now, one of the other things that I noticed, it doesn't have the timer, or not timer, but it doesn't have the information on the upper left side of the screen, so I can't see what keyframe it's at. But if I wanted to, I can end the render now, hit the X button, and that will end it at that point that I was at into the render process. And I can go in the folder itself. So let's see. Hit the up arrow, go to NM5, and here goes all of the images that was rendered from the first frame all the way down. So now I can go in and see where it's at. So sometimes I like to stop the render in mid shift, and then I will go in and edit out a certain portion. So say I was at the 635th frame and I noticed there was an error somewhere in the motion. I'll go in and I'll change it from this point to like maybe 635 to maybe 645. So I'll go from the 635th frame to the 645th frame, and I'll go in and individually hand pick which ones I want to edit out. Then I'll go in and type in 635 here, enter, and I will start rendering from 635 to only 645, something like that. So a good example would be, say I wanted to change the viewport and what it looked like to a different background. Say I switch the background to that. I'll go back to view and go viewport render animation, and then it goes in and only renders those 10 frames, and you'll get to see the end result. So it's that fast. That was just 10 frames, so it's done. So now I go back to the folder for it, and you'll see that those frames are changed out. So let's zoom in a little bit. Hold on one second. View, sorry, go to view, go to extra large, and it's 600 and something, right? Here we go. So when you go in and edit it, it will have a transition from this background to this background, but everything else will stay the same because all I did was change the background. So say I wanted to change anything else in the actual render, I can change anything else. If I wanted to go in and add additional blinks, I can go in and add blinks to the character. If I want to go in and add a smile at a certain point, I can go in and change the shape keys for that particular point to create a smile where there wasn't a smile, or a frown where there wasn't a frown. You know, you can do that kind of stuff by manipulating the graphics of the character through shape keys or whatever the case may be. And this is how they do it in Hollywood, pretty much. It's pretty amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing what you can do. So, and this is with Blender itself. I don't think the average person knows they can do all of that with Blender, but you can do it frame by frame, every individual frame. As you can see, it looks like it's moving. See, I'm just scrolling on the mouse, and you get the illusion of motion. See, so let's go back to Blender and switch back that background. So we want to finish the render. The render was ended, what do they call it? Prematurely at 692. So we're going to go and start at 692. And the last one was 725. Boom. So now we'll go back to view and then continue it at that point. I also can make a camera transition. I'll show y'all folks that. Let's do that. Instead of starting the render process here, we want to do a camera transition. I don't know why I couldn't say that right. It's probably because it's getting late and I need to get some sleep. But so for camera transitions, you have to add markers. And I learned that some years ago. So the transition, say I wanted to transition at exactly at 692. Make sure you move the playhead to where you want to add the marker. You go add marker, and you have to add a camera. I don't have a camera in this particular position here yet, but I do have one in my scene. So what I'm going to do is add everything back, and I'm going to look for the camera. I'm going to select the camera. Actually, let's see what the camera is looking at. Use the 0 key on the keyboard, and this is what the camera is looking at. His full body. So maybe I want to animate the full body along with his head to basically show that he has some sort of a excuse me, some sort of a lively motion, maybe some sort of an idle pose or something like that. I can go over to excuse me. I can go to Mixamo and go for idle pose. So let me get an idle pose real quick. Idle. And sorry. Try to find something not too distracting, but not that uninteresting. Let's see. Sorry. What we'll do is get rid of this character because this is a different character from the characters that I usually use on Mixamo. But actually what I should do, hold on one second. Oh, I know what I have to do. I have to take the character's mesh, move it over to Mixamo. I forgot about that. Somebody showed me how to do that. For the human generator characters. So let's exit out of this. Hold on one second. You're going to select the mesh, go to File, Export, and go to OBJ. Wavefront OBJ. And then selection only, objects. We don't have to worry about material groups or anything like that because it's not really materials that we're really interested in. And I don't think it's going to send it to it anyway, to Mixamo. Sorry. Let's see. Go to 3 objects. Oh, actually, we go into the expansion drive. Got to get used to the expansion drive. and go to anim 5. And then we're going to call this tone. We'll call the character tone. I don't know. Export. And we're going to go back to Mixamo. And we're going to upload character. Select character file. Blender. And then 5. Scroll all the way down. Go to tone. Open. And then from there, you have to basically designate different positions of the body. Mixamo, what it does, it basically will take the character and build it. Oh, shoot. It will build the animation for you. I made a little error. I only selected certain parts of his mesh. So I didn't select the clothes. You got to select the clothing mesh in order to get the rest of it in there. I forgot about that. I don't think I really need much else other than that. So we'll do that again. Export. OBJ. Okay. That went over. I think it went over good. And we're going to select. Yeah, so Mixamo is basically going to help you to rig your character. And then you can add animations to it. All pre-configured motion capture files that are showcased in a character animated on the screen, but is fully representative of the character through an FBX file. So hold on 1 second. Excuse me. So we're going to designate where the chin is at. Sorry about that again. All right, for the wrists and the elbows, right is left, left is right. So when you see the left, what you think is the left hand, that's the right hand. What you see and you think is the right hand, that's the left hand. So see it says left wrist. So you're going to put it on the right wrist, the right side. And you want to get it accurate. You want this to be accurate because it's going to basically establish where the joints are going to move. So this is the left one. It goes to the right knee. Not right knee, but you know what I mean. And then groin goes to the dead center near the groin. And that's it. Everything else you leave the same and just hit next. And you just wait a few minutes and it should auto rig it. So you don't have to go through all the crazy rigging process. The reason why you're doing this is you basically are mapping out to get the character to work. So what just happened? Now the reason why that happened is probably because the character is in an A pose. So let's go back over here. We're going to change the pose. So we're going to hit the N key on the keyboard. Make sure we go back to the human character setup and go back and previous, next. What in the world? Oh, you have to select the character. Sorry about that. So I just selected the character. Click off expression. We're going to go to pose and then all categories. And then from pose, you're going to go to base poses and then select here and then go for what in the world just happened. Why did that happen? What is that? Okay. There we go. I don't know what just happened, but now we got the right pose. And the legs is not positioned properly. So you want to turn those legs inward. So we're going to go to the pose mode and make sure that these legs are turned properly. We'll rotate it. Rotate, actually, individual origin. Rotate on the Z. Rotate Z. There we go. Because if this is not positioned right, it's not gonna work out. Rotate Z. All right. Now we're gonna rotate X. Oops. Rotate Y. Rotate Y. Yeah, the animations will turn out really bad looking if this stuff is not lined up properly. All right, so we're gonna go to Object, and now we're gonna select everything and try it again. It should make a difference. File, Export, Wavefront OBJ. Boom. Okay, so this should work. Can't wait for this cold to go away. All right, I think it's done. And so we will try one more time. Upload. This doesn't work. I'm not going to worry about it, about getting that idle in there. I just wanted to show y'all folks a full package of what it would look like if you wanted to animate and go further into the world of say you're trying to create a short film or something like that. You got to have motion capture files to really make stuff work the way you want. If you don't have motion capture, you're gonna have to go and animate yourself all the bones, and that's not easy. So let's go back. For some reason I didn't select the shirts. Okay. Come on. It's not one whole mesh, so you got to select multiple parts of the mesh. That's why. Okay. Upload. Select. Tone. Here we go. Let me see if I have any questions. Maybe I can answer some questions if anybody has any. There you go. So see how he looks? That's how you want it, pretty much. Go to next. Chin. Drag it to the chin. So you basically do everything else like you did it earlier. The wrist. Hold on a second. Where's the wrist there? Elbows. Probably right there. knees, probably there, and groin. Somewhere around there. Boom. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. So it should work now. Shouldn't have any issues. Once that's done, then I should be able to apply the animation that I wanted. There it goes. All right. See, it looks like it can be animated. As you can see, all the joints are working. That's a pretty good test. Hit next. Hit next. And now the character's in. So, where was the kind of idle that I was looking for? All right, there we go. That idle. So we will download this one with the skin. 30 frames per second. All right, that's a warrior idle. We go to a NIM5, save. And hold on, let me turn my phone down. Maybe I could open the session for questions. Let's see what they got. Hold on one second. I'm just checking to see what people got going on. Okay. We got these weird foreigners putting garbage on the screen. I see that. But no real questions, which is okay. All right, so what we're going to do now, we got that downloaded. Going to go back to Blender. And we're going to play around with the animation. Excuse me. So we're going to go to File, Import, FBX, and we're going to go NIM5, Warrior Idle, and just import it, see what it does. Hit the N key on the keyboard, make that go away. And I think it's going to be very, very tiny. For now, we can get rid of this head if we wanted to, but I'll just hide it for now. And there goes the character right there. For some reason, it turns out very, very tiny. I don't know why. So let's hide the eyes. Hide the 3D empties for the head. Hide it all, hiding all of that. Okay, so we're gonna select the rig. We're gonna scale it out. The best way to scale it, you go to Item, Scale, and just put 1, 1, 1. Boom. Now he's the same size. He should be, or at least close to it. Well, the reason why he's not the same size is because the idle has his knees bent down, crouched down a little bit, and the other character's in a T pose. So now we're going to take the other character and we're going to put him in an A pose again. So let's go to the human generator add-on and go back to base poses and select that. Bam. Okay. So from this point forth, what we want to do is retarget the bone structures and stuff like that. So I use the Rococo retargeter. Some people will use the something rig pro. I forgot exactly what the name is, but we're gonna take the source, which is the armature. Use the little eyedrop tool for each of them, and then select that rig that you just brought in. Not the rig that you just brought in, the rig that you came up with from the human generator character itself. Is known as HG underscore Newton for this character that I created. And then what we're gonna do is build boneless. It's gonna match all the bones as it sees fit. And everything should be identical actually. So I don't know where the hips turned into spine. Because the hips is supposed to be the hips. So you want to check this, make sure this is accurate. But I think we're gonna just change spine to hips. Or hip. And it's not showing up. So what? I'm not sure why that did not work the way it's supposed to work. But I guess the hip was turned into a spine in this rig here. Let's see real quick. Let's go to pose mode. Send the bones to front. And see what this center rig is. This is the hips right here. What in the world? How about we go out? Let me select this rig and go to pose. See what that one is. Oh, okay, so that center bone is the spine bone. That's why. I got it. All right, let's go out. So everything should be good. What we're gonna do now is retarget animation at rest pose, and it should work out. It should mirror exactly the position of the other character without much problem, because I've done it in the past and it worked and didn't have an issue. Now, depending on the animation, it may take more time or less time. Now, let's hope that the face rig and everything works out still. So we're gonna hit the play button. And we will see, let's go to wireframe. Yeah, the face rig is still working. But we don't see any animation other than that. Oh, the reason why, because we had 692. Okay, so we have to reset this to 1. And then the playhead will go all the way back over here. Remember we put that camera marker? I just wanted to keep a mental note for that because I didn't finish the camera. Just wanted to get the idle animation in there. So here we go. We got the idle with him moving. So now we can redo the whole entire animation if we wanted to. Pretty cool. All right, so what we're gonna do is hit the pause button and get out of wireframe, go back to where we were at, and we're gonna delete the other character. Gotta also delete all his meshes. All right. Oops. Edit, undo. So what did I do just there? Let's delete that. Oh, no, no good. Edit, undo. Let's just move the bones, because I don't know how this thing took his arms away. Where did his arms go? Is the arms inside the body? Oh my gosh. Why? Okay, so it didn't work. For some reason it didn't work. It was supposed to work. I don't know why it didn't work. That's crazy. Let's go back. I'm puzzled to why it did not work. Alright, so this is before I made the move. Let's take the bones and move them over. That's weird. Okay, let's go to current and maybe try the current pose and then retarget and see what it does with that. I'm not sure why it's not working. It should work. It's crazy. Okay, so that looks a lot better, but let's go to 1. Doesn't look like anything copied over. Well, it did copy over. You know what I gotta do? To tell you the truth, I'm just gonna have to map out the bones. So, I don't know why it's not working the way it worked the other time. Alright, so I just basically gotta shape the bones the way the bones look here. So, to do that, put the character back inside the other character and just map the bones out. I'll go to pose mode and just rotate the bones. So rotate, actually let's use the rotation tool. Rotate the bones down a little bit. Just to match to some degree for the arms mainly. But the animation obviously wants to transfer over, which is good. It's mostly the arms that's the problem. Hold on 1 second. Let's go to view, frame selected, and then I can rotate better. So we're going to take this bone, put it out there, take this bone, put it back over here. And then take this one, put it out there. And then take this one and put it back over here. Like so. Excuse me. And then take this arm, move it down a little bit. Take that arm, move it down a little bit. Just try to get a little mirror of what it's doing. Let's see, and get this one like that. Let's see. Yeah, this one's not bad. I think that's good enough. And yeah, I think that's it. So from that point on, we'll go to out of that object mode, select this character and move him over. All right. And then we'll retarget with current. So it's going to retarget with the current pose, and everything else should map out properly. Except the fist. You see the fist? Man, I need to change that, because the character's fist is shaped a certain way. So all of this takes a little extra time, obviously, which is something that we definitely have to do. Let's see what it's doing. The arms don't look like it went in the right format. So it's still giving the same issues. I don't know. I really don't know. Why it's not working the way it's supposed to. I'll probably have to just troubleshoot in the future. I don't want to go from one epic fail to another epic failed video. But let's just finish the animation. I'm not worried about it. I'll leave it with all of that glitching stuff in it as well. I don't care. So we're gonna delete this one. Delete that. Delete that. Undo that. Delete the other one. Delete that. There we go. So we're not worried too much about the fact that it failed. We're gonna go with that camera transition. So we're gonna hit the 0 key on the keyboard, and we'll try to get that camera transition in there. So maybe we want from the 600 and let's go to 650. We'll leave the other marker there. $650th frame, we'll add a marker and then have that camera lock in. So bind camera. It says select the camera to bind. Okay. So hold on one second. For some reason the camera's not selected. There we go. So we binded that camera and we will animate the camera. So use automatic keyframe option and then G, let's go Y, G, X, G, Z, G, Y, G, Z. There we go. So from this point, we'll have a lock rod scale. Let's see, object, animation. Where's the animation at? Animation, insert keyframe, lock rod scale, and then from 650 onward, we'll get it to animate, drawing itself backwards, something like that. G, oops, going to the tail end. Which is 725. We'll do GY and just basically go back with the camera. So basically it will animate like that. At that camera position. All right, there we go. So we will start the animation over from 650. And let's change his pose since the idle pose failed. Change the arm positions. And we're going to render from 650 onward. 650 to 725. There we go. Everything should work out from this point. So we're going to viewport render. So we hit the N key, the T key, get rid of this, get rid of that. Actually, we don't have the viewport render, but I do want to viewport render. It won't render the same way with the camera markers, I don't think. Yeah, it won't render through the camera if I do the viewport render. So it's all good. I'm not worried about it. I'll just do it from here. Viewport render. But keep in mind that's going to be part of the render in the future when I choose to render from the camera. So what just happened? Is that it? Something happened. It froze. Wow, this light bulb is acting up. Shut these lights off. All right, so that's it. I think it's done. And then all we need to do is go to render and view animation. Actually, let's go and no, not view animation. We have to change the start frame to 1. Then go view animation. So basically, all the beginning frames, I have it set up, and then it's just going to transition to another position on the screen. It looks like a camera animation, but it's not. Now I'm going to show y'all folks how to lip sync everything. And I had a little error. You saw that, right? So that was a little glitch that I made an error with by mistake because some of the keyframes did not correct themselves. So it is still the distorted 635 to 645. So let me do that again. 635 to 645. The only problem with that is that I don't recall exactly where I had the character at. Could have been in this position. Something like that, I'm not sure. So we're going to get a little slight distorted frames from there to there. So what we'll do is just change another position. Like maybe show this angle. And we will have to transition from one element to the other on a larger transition. So it'll be like 550. So at 550, it will transition to there. From 550 to 649. So 550 to 649. So 649. That's where I have to correct it. And that should work out with this kind of angle. Sometimes when you're doing like film footage and stuff, you have to do different clips, like jump cuts. So that should work out. Render animation from this point. No, actually, viewport render animation. There we go. All right, so I'm just waiting for it to go through and calculate. Now it's doing the render. Like I said, once I'm done this, I'm gonna show y'all folks how to get the lip sync done real fast. That's very easy once you got all your PNG files in an animation folder that you defaulted it to send it for rendering. So whether you're using Eevee or you're using the Cycles render engine or maybe the AMD Pro renderer, whatever one you're using, it doesn't matter. Whichever output you send it to, so the file that you send it to or file folder, that will determine the ease of you using the lip sync. So now everything I think is done. Let me just view the animation again. And hold on, I have to go out and start the animation from the 1 frame and end it at the 725th frame to get the full view. So view animation, and now you see that the error that I had, because I did some adjusting earlier just to display and show folks something about the animation clips. So once this is done, you'll get to see that it has the full-fledged motion. Everything is there. The head motion, the eye blinks, the facial expressions, everything is in there. The only thing that you're missing is the voice. See, so it transitions through, jump cuts. Pretty cool. All right, so now it just looped to start over from scratch. So say that was just one scene that you're just trying to create for the character to talk. So now how would you get the rest to work out? So what you have to do now, once you got that folder, you're good. As long as you got all these clips, you can start over if you wanted. A whole new project or another scene or whatever you want to do, because you already finished that scene. So you don't have to worry about anything else unless you want to render it to make it look a little bit more better. So you want to refine the quality of the mesh, stuff like that. So some people, what they will do is just render out using like the bare bone render. They don't even want to see the mesh. Like they don't want to see the materials. So they'll go through maybe the workbench and do it through workbench to do it fast, just to get the scene set up. And then when they're ready to finalize their render, then they'll master all of the textures and stuff like that. And that's the thought process that you can put into it, just for the the storyboard phases and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I'm gonna get into storyboards because my brain is a little different, and I never write scripts when I create my content, so everything is just straight off the fly from my head. So I'm kind of like that, like analytical, where I could build out everything without having to write anything down. So I don't know, some people like that, I guess. But maybe in the future I'll get into writing the stories ahead of time, but I don't think I'm gonna have to. So mainly because I'm gonna be doing a lot of rap videos, and rap videos don't really need a story too much. I mean, the best rap videos probably were story based, have a plot and all of that stuff, but it doesn't require you to have a story to create a rap video. So yeah, now that we got that done, we're gonna open up another instance of Blender. We're not gonna close this one. Actually, we're gonna save it because I did like the character that I built. So you like anything that you did, you make sure, most definitely make sure to save it. We're gonna call this tone. And now all I gotta do is start another instance, and you'll be blown away by how easy it is to do the lip sync. All right, now we got another instance. We're gonna go to File, go to New, and go to Video Editing. I love that they excuse me, updated Blender to have that optionality or functionality where you can just go in and you can change it to a whole new Blender configuration just with minimal stuff on the screen. So all I got is video editing and rendering here, which is pretty dope. So what you do with this in the video editor, why would I be here? Well, basically all I have to do is go and fetch the audio wave file, add the audio wave file here, which adds the audio to it, and I also just have to add all of those images as an image sequence, those PNG images that I sent to that folder for rendering. So let me do that first. So we're gonna go to hit the add or Shift A on the keyboard. It doesn't matter either way. And then image sequence, and then go to the full image sequence and just hit the A key for selecting all. Now that adds everything in, and if you move it around, you'll see that it's ready to animate everything. Well, it's already animated, obviously, because you got all the clips of every single movement that you wanted in it. So all you have to do now is add the audio, and that's pretty easy. You hit the A key again, or sorry, Shift A, and then sound. So I don't have the audio file yet, so I'll just leave it up here, the screen up here. So to get the audio file, I have to get it off my phone. And on my phone, let's go back to the view with the phone thingy-majig. So let's bring up the phone. I'm not going to go through everything that I had before on the screen. I'm not too concerned with that, but I'll just leave it like this since you already seen it before. We're going to go to Facecap, and instead of just going to the character, we're going to go to export and call it test 3 again, but audio. Test, oops, 3 audio. Oh, it's already there. Forgot. So I go to File, go to Done, and yeah, it's the FC_test3. You can highlight it and you can rename it if you want. I'm gonna call this test 3 audio, just so it's much easier to find. There we go. Right click, share. It's another way to do it. Go to Drive. We're just going to send it to the same folder, the animation folder. Save here, upload, and then we're going to go pick it up on Google Chrome on my drive. It's right here. Double click it. Sorry about that. Right click. Go to download. And then save it to that an M5 folder. Which it doesn't have any audio files in it. But we're going to get it in there now. And let's see what it does. Now, one of the things that I recommend for folks to do is use Audacity. When you use Audacity, you can correct a lot of errors with your audio. So if you want the best sound quality, you want to go and test it first. So let's show it in the folder. We're going to right click and we're going to open with and go for Audacity. Audacity is an amazing audio program. So the audio is there. Can't really hear it. I think there's something wrong with my computer's setup. But let's hit the A key to select all or highlight everything. My audio setup is not right. Hold on. No, that's not right. There we go. I highlighted everything. Then we go to generate, or not generate, effect, and then go to amplify. Click OK. And now you can see all of the audio. Hit the play. Hey, what's up, folks? I'm just testing around. All right, now you can hear it. Hey, what's up, folks? And then the other thing I want to do with it highlighted is go to effect and then let's see, noise reduction. How that works, you get the noise profile. You get like a small little clip. Repeat noise reduction. Then go back. Noise reduction. Hit OK. And it should reduce all of the audio errors in the background. Hold on. Hey, what's up, folks? I'm just testing around on this. Doesn't sound bad. Hey, what's up, folks? I'm just testing around. All right. So from that point on, what we're gonna do is go to File, Export as an MP3. Doesn't really matter. And we're gonna call it, keep it the same thing, test3 audio. Click OK. And then from there, I didn't save it to a good location, I don't think. Let's try that again. Export MP3. Oh, it's in the music. Okay, it's in my music folders. Let's do that. Let's go to back over here, and we're gonna just look for my music folders and try to find the MP3. Here it is, test3 audio. We're gonna go to add sound strip, and now when we hit the play button, hey, what's up, folks? I'm just testing around on this iPhone X, and I am playing around with Facecap, an amazing app, and it's really dope. It is showing me that I can actually pull up some amazing stuff with my characters, and so I'm gonna be showing you. Hold on one second, I'm having a little glitch. Blender is freezing up for some reason, but pretty much that's it right there. It actually works. This iPhone X, and I am playing around with Facecap. Hey, what's up, folks? I'm just testing around on this iPhone X. All right, so what I have to do with the timeline is I have to extend the timeline now. So I have to go to the end. Right now it's ending at 250, and I got to end it at 725. Boom, like that. So that would allow me to play the whole thing. And I am playing around with Facecap, an amazing app, and it's really dope. It is showing me that I can actually pull off some amazing stuff with my characters, and so I'm gonna be showing y'all folks how to do that in this live stream today. And there you go, just a test, playing around, and let's see if this thing exports. Hey, what's up, folks? I'm just testing around on this iPhone X, and I am playing around with. There you go. So all I got to do now is render it. So I hit render animation, but make sure I send it to a folder that I'm familiar with again. Else is going to send it to the temp folder by default. This time I'm actually creating a FFmpeg video, as opposed to, you can create an AVI JPEG video, AVI RAW video, or a FFmpeg video. I want to use the FFmpeg video because this loads straight up into YouTube. So let's see, from that point we will send it to my expansion drive again, Blender Animation 5 or M5, and then that's my designated folder to output it to. And leaving it set at Eevee render is working great. You don't even have to worry about this. Set it to 1 on the sampling rate, and then we just render animation. It's gonna go super fast. So this doesn't only render out the visual, it renders out the lip synced audio as well. So pretty much that's it. That's everything in a nutshell. Pretty much created a full-fledged motion capture using the human generator add-on. Hopefully this helps folks who are trying to learn how to do it and trying to make things work. I have to like troubleshoot the Mixamo retargeting issue that I had. I don't know why that didn't work out, but I'll get that working. That's not a big deal. All right, so that's done. And let me show you that that video works. So say I wanted to play it as a video on my Windows desktop, on my computer, or anywhere. I just go and find that folder. So this is the NIM folder here. And it comes up as a video file, MP4 file. Right click, open with, and I can open with my Windows Media Player.
Hey, what's up, folks?
And there it goes.
So testing around on this iPhone X, and I am playing around with Facecap, an amazing app, and it's really dope. It is showing me that I can actually pull off some amazing stuff with my characters, and so I'm gonna be showing y'all folks how to do that in this live stream today. And there you go, just a test, playing around, and let's see if this thing exports.
See, so
Hey,
it
what's
worked.
up, folks?
Worked lovely. Didn't have any problems, any glitches, any issues, anything. All the transitions I built in worked out. Everything looks good. I mean, the only thing is that the skin looks a little glossy when it switched over to a certain point. Like
Do that.
somewhere over here. It's a little too glossy, so you can change a lot of that stuff in your renders. You can go in and play around, manipulate the materials in the shader editor tool. You can do a lot of different things like that, which will help you to improve on how it looks, the overall appeal and look. The lighting, you can change the lighting. You can do all kinds of different things, your background or whatever the case may be, so that it looks more realistic or less toy-like, because it's a little too glossy to me, unless the character had Vaseline on or something like that. But it looks good. I'm definitely gonna be rocking out some good scenes and good animations and stuff like that, and see if folks enjoy the creative process that I can come up with. Using this is most definitely powerful, very similar to using the Live Link Face app with the MetaHumans. So I think MetaHumans has some competition now, that the Human Generator add-on has definitely evolved to go much further than a lot of the other Blender stuff that people were able to do, but really wasn't producing much animation, high quality animations with their generated humans and things like that. They had different software and different tools, but a lot of the creativity wasn't showcased much that I saw on YouTube. I don't see that many people with too much high scale animations and a lot of good looking content that is an end product of it. I see a lot of people just doing tutorials mostly for years and years and years and not much product. So that's my aim. I'm going to be trying to come up with more product in the future as well to showcase, and hopefully it will inspire more people to try it. Besides me doing how-to videos, because after a while how-to videos are gonna have to come to some sort of climax, and some sort of end product should come out of it, you know. And other than that, that's all I got. Joe 11 Peace 12 Mike P signing off. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to spread this video socially, share it on every platform you know of. If you think this is going to help other people, that would be a great thing to help me to further my reach on YouTube, to get more people to acknowledge that these things are in existence and you can actually benefit from it. Anybody can learn how to animate today, because we got all these tools are so user friendly. We got a lot of things that weren't present about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago. A lot of this stuff just started popping up within the last year or so. But they did have tools very similar to it, but it was in more of a primitive phase and primitive state when it comes to the ability to make it work exactly the way you want it to work. And the face rig capabilities wasn't really existent on the level that it is now. Now you can come up with facial expressions that pretty much mimic a real human using an iPhone X, for instance, which is pretty amazing. So just with that understanding in mind, and the skills that you can apply if you worked many years trying to figure out, puzzle these tools together, and doing tons of watching tons of videos, how-to videos, and figuring out, from trial and error what you can and what you can't do. If you apply a lot of that skill, you can actually benefit in a large way, I think, as well as a content creator, besides helping other people. But that's all I got, and I'll see y'all folks in the next sessions. Joy, love, and peace to all. Mike Pugh is signing off.